Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We're just about to begin. Let's get a little bit of audio here. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful Mother's Day today. If you haven't done so already, be sure to call your mothers or mother analog and wish them a happy Sunday. It's always difficult when we do these races where the file select does not have any audio. It always just feels so quiet, a little bit disturbingly so. And our last of our players has readied up. The timer has started, and our race will begin any moment. So here we are. If you've been tuning in so far for our races, in the previous race, we completed Darm Tower. We completed East 1. East 1 originally released on the PC 98. This is the TurboGrafx CD remake of the first two games combined into one phenomenal whole here. So at this point, our players are starting off essentially a brand new game. They are starting East 2. And so we notice a couple of differences here. Might notice that our players no longer have their gold, their items. Their inventory is pretty empty now. They've just got a handful of books, the books that they worked so hard to collect in East 1. And they have no weapons and armor. So we see GFM here has immediately gone into the first doorway that they saw, and they encountered some monsters here. And these monsters hit pretty darn hard. GFM at a little fraction of health right now. Hopefully GFM stops. This is an outdoor place, so he can rest a moment and recover his health. There aren't many places in this game where they'll be able to do that. Mostly just the towns and this one overworld area. Ooh, GFM needs to be very cautious. This monster can beat him up if he is not careful. But he gets this slate. That's a big deal. So this is the East 1 and 2, the first two games of the East series. Currently up to East 9. Plus East Origins, which is sort of a East 0, if you would. So quite a long-running series since the mid-'80s. The newest game just coming out last year, I believe, and some coming out to the United States this year. So it is a long-running series, quite good, although these classic titles are very different than the modern incarnations. So we saw from the previous race, this game uses a bump system. So they fight monsters by just running into them and knocking them backwards to damage them. But this is East 2, which means things are going to get switched up before too long. So if we'll wait patiently, we'll see a very strange change in the gameplay coming up. But not just yet. For today's goal, our players are going to play through a couple of zones. They're going to reach the lava area, and hopefully they are going to defeat that boss, and that will set them up for next week's goal, which was originally going to be the last one. It's not really going to be the last one anymore. We are going to have one more segment added on, since the last segment turned out to be a lot longer than I anticipated. But we'll have a special treat that day, since I don't want to leave you guys shortchanged. So when we do part 5 in 2 weeks, there will be another game we'll play that day, which we'll talk about more later on. Played the Chronicles version. Adol arrives on a wrecked ship as usual in that version. Yeah, they had to retcon to make sure that they kept the series accurate. Yeah, I tried to constrain these games to about 2 hours for a skilled player. I know we have some players in the community who like to play really, really long goals. We have some people who really like 7 or 8 hours sitting goals. I try to keep it to 2 to 3 hours because there's a lot of players who they can't just devote that much time to sitting down and playing a game continuously without needing to run off and interact with other human beings. So we'll probably wind up, next week's goal will take us almost to the end of the game. The week after that, we will finish the game, and then we'll have a bonus game after that, a short game that I wanted to work into one of these, but it's not a game suitable for a segmented race because our players are going to knock it out in a single day. So we'll have a bonus race that day for folks to enjoy. Yep, there's a lot of places here where you can get stuck for quite a while. I'm sure we'll see our players struggle a little bit in this goal. So Nighty has finished exploring the town and is ready to go on an adventure. And here we see this rockin' Falcom soundtrack here. Gonna get plenty of great music today. And Nighty gets dominated by the first monster he encounters. This is why you save your game every time you have a chance. So because today is Mother's Day, Puffer King has visited the mother of a young woman here in town. And she has asked our hero to help her daughter. Her daughter is sick and needs medicine. So Puffer King, being the mother's boy that he is, has agreed that he is going to find Dr. Flare and make some medicine for the poor ailing girl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know which dungeon it is Simple Sarah is talking about. We are not going to see that dungeon today. Our goal is going to stop just before that point, and we're going to devote not 1 but 2 sessions to getting through that very big, difficult dungeon. Now he finds a little statue here. There's a guy who says, "Hey, could you get me this chest that's guarded by these couple of goons?" And so we see these 2 little jerks who are standing here in front of the chest. And Nighty says he could defeat those, but he's not going to spend that long. Gaining a few more levels is probably the best approach here. Now, one thing that would really help out Puffer King, you have the option to turn your speed from slow to fast. Most of our players probably had their speed set to fast when they played the previous session. However, the game does reset your speed when you start Ease 2 and whenever you reset your console. So if Puffer King was to set his speed back to fast, this would probably take less time. But it looks like he's got a strategy that works and he will be able to get through these monsters. But he will be able to get through them eventually, and he will get an absolutely mandatory item. Looks like someone, 325, is also going to be trying out this approach. Wouldn't be a bad idea for them to go somewhere else and go look for some enemies that they can kill. Much more so than Ys 1. This game is going to this game is going to have the players do a lot of grinding, particularly towards the end of the goal, which is one of the reasons why I pulled the last segment out. The final boss of the game is pretty brutal, and the players are going to have to gain a lot of levels to defeat it. So, starting in this session, it's going to be helpful, but starting in the next session, it's going to be absolutely critical for the players to pay attention, and if they spot a good place where they can grind enemies, they absolutely want to do that, because that is going to get them the levels that they're going to need to beat this game. You can see those experience gauges are at 11,000 experience or so. By the end of the session, they're going to be all the way up to almost 99,999. Maybe opening up this treasure chest to get a tablet. Meanwhile, GFM has decided to move on with things. He's found a doorway. He has descended into the Divine area, which is a pretty sprawling section that our players are going to spend a lot of the early part of this goal exploring. They've collected these 6 magic books of Ys, and now they realize that this is where those books belong. So they're going to have to search this area for the 6 statues of the sages and return their books, and they're going to get a load of lore. Now, this game does offer a little bit of a sort of an improvement over the original game. Now, any item that you can equip in your inventory you'll get a description of it if you press the button number 2, which can help out a lot by revealing to you what some of these sort of obscure things do. Yeah, I think Dark Fact is sort of the opposite, in that in the original game, the TurboGrafx CD version, he's pretty easy, and in some of the later releases, I think they made him a little bit more difficult. So Nighty has found a Rototree nut. He just noticed that there's just a little something laying on the ground. This is good. This Rototree nut he is going to need later on, so this is going to save him some time. Meanwhile, it looks like Puffer King is right here. Puffer King has defeated these monsters, and he gets a Wand of Holy World. Hopefully he takes a step back and saves his game here, so that he doesn't have to ever go through this again. Here we go. He's saving his game. Smart move. Now, our players are very low on money. They start off from 0. Hopefully, they will take the time to go check out the item shop. They may be a little bit misled. In the previous game, a lot of the items were very expensive. Healing potions were 1,000 gold. The magic wing was 2,000 gold. In this one, it's flipped quite a bit. Healing herbs are very affordable, 50 gold pieces. And the magic wing is an extremely affordable 100 gold pieces. Given that they're going to be very deep in these dungeons for a while, it would be absolutely a colossal time saving for these players to buy a magic wing so that they can quickly escape from these dungeons when they are low on health. Mighty Metric Batman asks, do they finally get magic points in Ys 2? Yes, they do. In fact, you can see that magic meter right there on their status bar. So that stat actually was not there in Ys 1. I'm pretty sure it was never there. I think that magic point bar only shows up when we switch to Ys 2. But yes, they are going to get magic points, and fairly soon. So we see Puffer King has actually got the magic points by collecting that magic wand in the treasure box, which someone is collecting. There's an old man who says, hey, I want that wand. If you talk to him, he'll tell you to give it to the statue, and you will gain magic. However, without a magic wand, your magic points don't do anything for you. So you're going to still have to look for that magic wand. Yeah, it used to show max hit points. Unfortunately, we had to trade that for this magic point counter. Surprisingly, the magic point counter is really not that helpful, as we'll see later on. I think in part because we've started in East 2 with a bunch of levels already under our belt. You start with a pretty colossal amount of magic points. So GFM is here exploring these dungeons. He's finding these monsters are very difficult to defeat, to the point where a lot of these monsters he's barely damaging. But these monsters are pretty good at damaging him. So he needs to be very cautious. Probably it would do him good to go back to the Divine area and look for some monsters that he can kill more efficiently, because he is going to need some levels. Yep, so someone in Puffer King took the time to beat up the little golems that were guarding that treasure box that contains a magic wand. That is not the kind of magic wand that gives you magic spells that you can cast. However, that does unlock your magic point stat, which is important before you can cast spells. So we see GFM here is exploring the mines. The mines is when this goal starts to get really serial. The mines are large. There is a lot of caverns here. There's a lot of monsters, and it's just a maze of doors. And so we're going to find out which of our players are really good at old school maze puzzles, because they're going to need to explore nearly every inch of these caverns to find all the treasures hidden inside. It's true, always left. Always left is the solution. So Nighty is taking an opportunity here to rest in the ruins and restore his health. So in this first segment of the goal, the players have a couple of tasks that they're going to need to complete here. The first one that they do need to make their way through the Divine area, and they need to search for these 6 really big doors. Behind each of those doors is one of the sages, who will take one of their 6 books and give them a little bit of a lore dump and reveal to them that we're on the floating continent of Ys, and that there's some legends and stuff going on here that the players need to fulfill in order to stop the land of Ys from being destroyed. Unfortunately, they'll only be able to find 5 of those. To get to the 6th door, they're going to have to go through a little bit of an effort. They're going to need to make their way through these mines. Here we see GFM has found a pickaxe and has used this to rescue Dr. Flare. Dr. Flare is going to help them make the medicine in exchange for a couple of goodies. And that is going to get the medicine that they need to treat Bernice's ailing daughter. They're going to need to search deep into the mines. Deep in the mines, they're going to find their first boss. They're going to find some treasures, including another magic wand. And that is going to eventually lead them to the 6th of the books. And once they manage to get through that, they'll be able to move on to the ice zone. But we are still a good hour away from finding the ice zone. See, Nighty here has descended into the mines. Having gained a level, he's in good shape to deal some damage to these little green, I don't know, are these spiders? Are these some kind of, like, hydras? A lot of the enemies in the early Falcom games are basically Rorschach chests, where you look at them and you just try to discern what could this be. One of my favorite Falcom games at all, Legacy of the Wizard, has a lot of very bizarre-looking creatures. So GFM has discovered the first boss in the game, and there is absolutely no way whatsoever that GFM can defeat this enemy, because this enemy is immune to your sword. You do, in fact, need to find magic before you'll be able to deal any damage whatsoever to this enemy. And not only that, but I think that the GFM is very underleveled, even if he did have the magic. Yeah, it's just instant death there every time. Nighty getting some hints there, telling him that he needs to find the magic wands to gain magic. I don't recall who it is, but there is a character who tells you that giant monsters, you can't even kill them with your sword. Suddenly this is Mage Knight the game. We're going to learn magic, and then suddenly we're not going to stab anything with a sword. We're going to shoot everything with fireballs. Nighty picking up on another little detail here. He can talk to the sages again and get a refill. So this is going to put him in a good spot that he can grind a couple of monsters here. Someone taking the time to spend some money to purchase a brand new shield here. So somehow Adol has lost all of his gear. He probably wound up dropping it all across the landscape of the world below as he flew off to Ys. So somewhere there's a happy swordsman on the ground who just found a magical silver blade. In the meantime, Adol's once again scraping together pennies so that he can afford to buy a short sword and start his sword collection yet again. Of course, Adol collecting money for first level weapons is something he's going to be doing for the entire series, spanning 25 years. So he better get used to it, because he's going to be doing a lot of it. So Nighty's found a pickaxe, but he doesn't know what to do with it. He'll figure it out really quickly. Thankfully, the location to use this pickaxe is pretty obvious once you figure it out. And he's got to be careful here. His health is starting to dwindle. Nighty ate his Rototree nut and nothing happened. The Rototree nut actually restores your magic points, of which Nighty has none. So eating the Rototree nut won't help him. However, he can step up the stairs here, find one of the sages, and he can get a full health restore while also turning in another one of his overdue library books. So it looks like Puffer King took the opportunity to grind some enemies and get some experience points. Gaining a couple of experience levels is going to give him a big advantage here, because the less damage you're taking from enemies and the more damage you're dealing, the easier it is going to be for you to explore, and the faster you'll be able to collect more of that treasure and get some more progression. So GFM picks up a Claria ring. It says you can move with the swiftness of a cat. Which I think maybe it makes you move a little bit faster. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, that's true. GFM hasn't even stopped by town long enough to talk to the characters and get his adventuring allowance. However, it does look like GFM... I think I saw a wing in GFM's inventory. He might have bought one. Which is, if he did, that's going to be huge, because that'll let him return to town when he invariably gets trapped way deep in these dungeons. I think we noticed I think it was GFM in the previous session that he struggled a little bit, that he kept putting off leveling up for a very long time. That could be advantageous sometimes. Sometimes you hold out hoping that you'll find a piece of equipment for free that will save you having to spend money. But right now, I don't know. Well, I think the one thing that could help GFM out is if he manages to find that magic wand of fire. That will put him halfway to getting his first magic spell, which will it changes everything. There it is. GFM has found the magic of fire, but that doesn't do anything because he has no magic points. No magic points, no magic. This is a simple bit of logic that every RPG player since the beginning of time understands implicitly, that if you want to cast the magic spell, you got to have the magic to cast it. So it looks like he's going to save scum his way back out of the dungeon. Meanwhile, we see Nighty here is facing off against the first boss, and he just got destroyed. So I think Nighty is picking up right away that he is simply not in any shape whatsoever to fight this creature. So Nighty is doing something interesting here. He's pushing up against the bottom of rooms. This is a big deal. There are a couple of hidden rooms here. However, he's probably not going to be able to find the ones he needs. A big challenge in this goal is going to be figuring out that there is a way to find these hidden rooms without any difficulty. But the secret is pretty obscure because it requires figuring out what a magic spell does that doesn't seem to have an obvious purpose. Yeah, now Nighty is paranoid that there's secret areas everywhere that he's got to look for. So it looks like someone figured out how to use the pickaxe and has rescued Dr. Flare. And he's gotten a mission that Dr. Flare needs 2 ingredients in order to brew a potion to treat Bernice's ailing daughter. One of those items is the Rhoda nut, which we've seen is just lying around in the ruins up above, and the players just have to spot it and grab it. The second item is a flower, which allegedly grows next to shady ponds. We've seen a couple of water sources. However, the one that we need has a pretty obvious flower next to it, so we might see some players rubbing up against a pond looking for a flower that just simply is not there. So it looks like Nighty is exploring this area. He's found 2 of the doors he's looking for, but it looks like he's wisely going to wait. He knows that each time he opens one of those doors, he's going to endure a little bit of a cutscene, and he's going to get a health restore. He's going to want those health restores to help with his grinding, but he's going to want to only watch those cutscenes once. So he's making a really smart move here, doing his grinding first and then watching the cutscenes second. That way he'll be able to get his health restore when he actually needs it and only watch the cutscene once. Very clever play there. Nighty being one of our champion level blind racers. Nighty also notorious. Nighty has never forfeited a single race. Every race that Nighty has ever joined on SRL, he has completed, and that has included some absolute doozies. He has played through Adventures of Lolo 2 for the Japanese version, notorious for its very difficult levels compared to the English version. Played through Dino Crisis. That's a race that I joined as well. Nighty and I spent 7 hours playing through Dino Crisis blind. I believe my comment at the end of that race was 4-hour estimate, says BTS. Here's Nighty getting his health restored. Looks like GFM had the same plan. GFM killed some monsters prior to watching that cutscene and getting that health restore. So that's a very good use of time here. What on earth? Is that the end of the track? Nighty getting a nice 40 experience points per monster here. That's not too shabby. The real trick to grinding is to find really efficient grind spots. The best place is a spot where there's 2 enemies that spawn close to each other, especially if it's in a vertical or horizontal corridor where you can just run left and right or up and down continuously and kill the monsters over and over. That's the ideal spot. So it's hopefully our players will pay attention and find those. Meanwhile, GFM trying to kill these purple monsters here. I think they're worth like 100 experience points to him now. But they do take a while to kill, especially as several people have pointed out, GFM is completely naked. He is just absolutely bare from head to toe. For censorship purposes, of course, Nintendo of America or whoever it was who made the TurboGrafx, nobody actually knows to this day. They have given him a suit of sort of long underwear that looks like armor, but don't be fooled, he's not actually wearing anything at all. And here is someone picking up the magic wand and immediately hits the wrong button. There it is. And look at how this suddenly works. He can just pump magic directly into these monsters. Apply fireball directly to forehead. Suddenly combat got so much safer. Yeah, ranged weaponry does kind of feel like cheating. So Puffer King here is still operating off of a single save file. Puffer would really do well to start using some of his other save files. In particular, I played through this recently to set up my goals and to remember if there were any parts that were going to get you stuck, which of course there are lots of those. And there were a couple of times when I actually made save files that were just totally dead, that I accidentally saved on an enemy spawn point and I just died instantly when I reloaded. So yeah, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you're not saving more than one file. Nighty's really close to finding the fireball wand here. He's just a couple of rooms away. It's not here. And he's looking for the place that you use that pickaxe. Puffer King's really close now. He's just one more room away from getting his fireball wand. And there it is. Adol gets the magic of fire, so Puffer King has the magic and he has the wand. And Nighty picking up the fireball wand at the same time. So now we've got two players here who have the wands and the fire magic. Puffer King not equipping that magic wand. It's an interesting choice here. Oh, if only Puffer King would equip that magic wand and realize that the world is now just totally open to him. Someone just trying to go straight through the door, wondering if maybe this is one of those trick bosses. Oh, Puffer got a health restore there. I'm not sure what he was doing. Unless he ate an herb. Or maybe he loaded a save file where he had more health. Okay, so Puffer's been cautious about making save files when he's low on health, which is good strategizing for him. So once the players have the magic wand, they have magic power and they have the magic wand, they'll be able to cast fire magic, and at which point then they just need to get their level up so that they can kill the first boss, which will give them access to the deepest part of the mine. Once again, Puffer King not equipping that magic wand. Now, it's possible that the players are assuming this is old school RPG magic where, oh, you're going to have to be really cautious with your magic point use and you're going to have to save it for when you're in trouble. No, the fireball spell costs such a trivial amount of magic that you basically just use it nonstop. Just unload on everything that you see. Puffer not using his magic wand. Oh, here we go. He's heading down to the boss. Maybe he'll try his magic wand against the boss. It's also possible Puffer doesn't realize he's supposed to equip the magic wand. That may be his issue. Oh, there it is. He didn't know you needed to equip the magic wand. Oh, there we go. He dealt damage. Now, the good news is Puffer's figured out what to do. The bad news is he's still a little bit weak. He might just take that magic wand and just go start beating up on regular monsters and gain another level or 6. He's got to work out the timing. All right, in theory, Puffer can do this. In practice, this is going to be pretty rough. He's going to have to dodge a lot of shots and over a long period of time. A lot of bosses too. If you get into the right spot, you can just pump. Magic spells directly into their face. A little bit fast on the draw there, but he's got the right idea. All right, so it looks like Puffer's going to fight at this for a little while. We'll see if he can make progress. He's doing pretty good. Looks like GFM is going to go for a grind here. Looks like GFM has finally gone back to town and spent some of his hard-earned cash on some equipment. And he's just going to start grinding some monsters, which he needed to do for a while. Looks like someone has also found the boss and is going to use his magic wand to try to deal some heavy damage here. It looks like Nighty is down in the deeper part of the mines. But Nighty does not have the magic, has not unlocked magic points yet, so he is not going to be able to use his fire rod. GFM's in the right area. If he gains a couple of levels and he kills those little goons that are blocking that chest, he'll get his magic spell. Does attack power from weapons improve magic damage? I'm not sure if weapons do that. I think it's just levels increase your attack power. Because you definitely deal more damage with your magic as you gain levels. Rhythm Song says, yes, attack power from weapons improves magic damage. So there you go. So buying some new swords will improve your magic spells. And there we go. Someone has defeated the first boss. And gains a level for it and is going to be able to descend a little bit deeper into the mines now. Into the part of the mines that contains the more valuable treasures. Here we go. Nighty has finally figured out where to use his pickaxe, and he has discovered Dr. Flare. Ooh, Puffer King's really close here. Oh, one more shot. Oh, he was a little early. Oh, he's early again. All right, Puffer gets it. Well done for Puffer King. Puffer King has defeated the first boss. He's going to get a nice infusion of experience points there. And he is going to get to descend into the next level of the mine. Here someone has found a flower next to the bank of the pond. And that is one of the 2 ingredients that is needed to prepare the medicine for the sick young girl in town. Puffer's still stubbornly going with a single save file here. Let's hope that he manages to keep this going. Puffer discovers the little hidden doorway here, but first he's going to explore north. That's good. North, he's going to find something that he needs. It's the pond with this flower. He picks up the little flower, and that's going to be part of the medicine he needs. So GFM is going to try his hand at these golems guarding the treasure chest. So someone and Puffer King exploring the deepest part of the mine. They need the Kyria flower. They also need to look. There is a treasure chest here that contains another magic wand. The magic wand of light here. Someone is about to pick it up. This is a very important item. Well, someone's not going to be picking it up because he just got stabbed to death by a couple of guards. But the light spell is very important, although its use may escape the players, because most people, they get a magic wand of light and they're going to think, oh, I just need to look for someplace that's dark. But this wand has another purpose that hopefully the players will figure out. Whenever we do one of these blind races, we give the players a paste spin that contains some basic gameplay mechanics, teaches them the controls, shows them how to, maybe gives them some hints on progression. The paste spin this week contains a single hint, and that single hint is, once you get the Wand of Light, figure out what it does. Because it's very tricky. You can only have one spell equipped at once, and you really want it to be that fireball spell, because you really want to be shooting fireballs at monsters. But if the players equip that Wand of Light, it will reveal to them some secrets. Some secrets that may have wished to remain buried. But more specifically, if the Wand of Light is equipped, it'll cause some of the stones that are next to the doorways to glow, and that will cause hidden doorways to appear for the players to pass through. They don't need the Wand of Light to actually pass through those doors, but it will show them where they're located, because it's otherwise extremely easy to miss them and not know. So at this point, Nighty really just needs to kill those golems that are guarding that chest. It feels super wrong. It feels like you should be doing something differently, but yeah, you keep bumping into them until they die. That's the only way I know that you can get it. Is you can't have magic for them because you have to kill them to unlock magic. Someone making good use of this fireball magic to explore the mines. Puffer King doing the same. With this fireball magic, suddenly he can kill anything that crosses his path with very little difficulty. Now, does Nighty remember what 2 ingredients he needed to collect? He needed to get a flower, and he needed to get a nut. Here we go, Puffer King figuring out where to use his pickaxe. And this reveals Dr. Flare, so this is our fourth player to find Dr. Flare. Or is it? Did someone find him? Maybe someone hasn't found him yet. Because someone is still looking for where to use that pickaxe. That he's got a wing and an herb in his inventory. The herb will give him a full refill of health, and the wing will let him teleport back to any of the towns that he's visited, although right now he's only visited this first town. If only somebody would be able to figure out how to make these teleport spells let you visit places you've never been before, I think that would dramatically increase the value of a wing. Because you know that's why these wings are so cheap. It's because all these people have just been living in this town forever. Because everywhere else is filled with deadly monsters. That, or do you suppose all the people in town, they're just used to fighting these monsters all the time? That their level's way higher than Adol's? So now that Nighty has a new sword, he probably can be able to kill those golems a lot faster than the other players, and that will get him his magic wand that he needs. So someone has the flower but does not have the nut. If someone took the time to talk to the people in town, somebody would mention that you can find nuts just laying around in the ruins. Puffer King loading a save file. I think Puffer King is being incredibly cautious with his save files because he only has that one file. It's better than it could be. He definitely wants to be cautious about saving where he might get killed. On the other hand, this is going to make slow going because he's constantly going to be under threat. Yeah, he seems determined to not save in the other slots. Looks like Puffer King might also have the nut, which means he just... Actually, I think if he's got the nut and the flower, he should be good here. He can turn this into Dr. Flare right away. It's like GFM has figured out that the boss can be killed with fireballs, but he just needs to gain some levels or buy a new sword here. Now taking a shot here at the boss. Puffer King's like, "Hey, come on! I've got the thing." So I think Puffer King here is coping with the fact that the game really didn't anticipate him having these ingredients when he got here. So he needs to go back to town. Poor Puffer King. He has to go back to town because Dr. Flare won't give him the potion here. Yeah, this is an unfortunate sort of speedrunner problem where you go too fast. Oh, he ate his flower. Oh, that's interesting. So you can... You can get a health refill for that flower. That's neat. Alright, so the doctor is gone. The doctor is not in. So Puffer King is going to have to go look for him. He's hanging out in town with his brother. We'll see if Puffer King realizes that the character he was talking to was the doctor's brother. GFM trying to defeat this boss. This is a bit of a struggle. To start with, he's going into the boss with half health, which he's already starting off at a handicap. But he's got a strategy here, it looks like. Ooh, I like this strategy here from GFM. This might be one that can win it. I say, and then he takes a couple of hits because I have cursed him. Looks like Nighty's taking another jaunt here through the mines. He is trying to figure out where he's missed something because he knows he's missing something important here. And what he's missing is actually in the ruins. If GFM had started this fight off with maximum health, he would have been in a great spot right now. However, he didn't, so now he's in a death-defying race against the boss. I have mixed feelings. I have a bad habit of I'll just use one save file unless I get to a point where the game gives me some kind of a reason to believe that I need to make a choice or that I could screw something up. Like I just played through Kingdom Hearts 3 and I used one save file until I beat the game, and then I saved my clear data in a second slot. There's a couple places where it could have saved me. I played through Valkyria Chronicles 1, beat the game, I played the download content, and I thought, man, this is fun, I should go for all the achievements. And then I realized saving your download content over your main file actually deletes your main file, and I was like, I'm not redoing the main story just to get more achievements. So yeah, it is really good practice to have more than one save file. If the game lets you do that, save a couple of files. Swap around. You never know when it'll save you. Alright, Puffer King. Back in town, he's looking for some stuff he can buy. He buys the wing, that herb. They're incredibly cheap. And does he notice... Oh, he doesn't notice Dr. Flare was standing right there. GFM being really stingy with his fireballs. Yeah, it is really good practice to have multiple save files. You never know when suddenly being able to swap save files is the difference between having to redo half an hour of gameplay and 30 hours of gameplay. So at this point, I think someone has found all 5 of the books that he can return. However, one is still eluding him. There is a part of the divine area that he can't figure out how to reach. To reach that area, he does need to use the light magic, and that is going to reveal to him some hidden doorways that he can pass through. Oh, here we go. I think Puffer King may be the first person to brew the potion. So Puffer King is going to take this medicine and he's going to jaunt on down to Lilia's mother, Bernice, and give her a well-deserved Mother's Day gift. It is Mother's Day. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to call your mother and let her know that you are the adventurer in her life. That you're always looking to buy her medicine when she gives it to you a side quest, even if that side quest isn't worth any experience points. So here's GFM picking up the Wand of Light. That's 3 players have the Wand of Light, I think. And Nighty just needs to beat up these golems guarding this chest. That's literally the only thing that he needs to progress. Alright, is Nighty going to take his time to beat up the goons? Goons being a word that is incredibly overused in this game. Everything is a goon. Alright, Nighty's saving his game. I think he's going to give it a shot. Nope. He's running off. That's unfortunate because this is what he needs to do. He just needs to beat those guys up. It feels terrible, but it's what you're supposed to do. I wasn't paying close attention. I forget what you get for helping Lilia. I don't know if GFM figured out the light spell or if he got lucky, but he did find the passage for the evil bell. This is an incredibly important item. And it's what he'll need in order to get through to the next zone. The return magic spell. Yeah, so this game, so in the previous East, you started off and wings were incredibly expensive, and then when you finally reached the point when you were able to afford them, it's like, hey, you're going to be in a tower, you're not allowed to have wings anymore, so suddenly you can't use them anymore. This game is the opposite. You can afford wings almost instantly, and then the game gives you the return spell, and it's like, oh, well, I guess I don't really need to use this anymore. I just have magic spell now. GFM not using his fireball magic outside of boss fights, so that's going to really be a handicap. So I think GFM not figuring out the light spell is unfortunate, because that means he passed over. There is a treasure box in that area he can use that will get him the iron ore that he can sell for a bunch of money, and that will also unlock the ability to buy better armor. It's like someone found the Rhoda nut, so that will allow him to brew the potion for Bernice, Lilia's mother. So GFM is still exploring here. He does, if he goes straight down from here, straight down, all the way down. No, he's passing over. He's going to miss out on the iron ore. But if he goes this way, he will get the Kyria flower. Unless he's already got that. No, loading his game. Interesting. Nighty also struggling a little bit here. He's got the rhodonut. He does not have the flower. So here we are at the 1 hour mark. This is our blind playthrough of Ys 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx CD. This game is a compilation of 2 games originally released separately. This compilation puts them together in one continuous game as they were originally meant to be. It's a little bit confusing since it does introduce a halfway point where suddenly Adol loses all of his stuff and you have to start all over like it's a new game, yet you keep all of your experience points like it was the same game. But at this point, Adol has recovered the 6 magic books of Ys. They have caused him to fly to the realm of Ys, a flying continent in the sky, where he learns that evil forces are afoot trying to unmake the world of Ys. And so he is on a mission. His first task has been given to him. He needs to find the 6 sages of Ys in the divine area, return their books, and that will give him access to travel deeper into Ys. I think at this point all of our players have managed to find 5 of the books, which means that will allow them, which means they're all missing the last one, which is Book Fact. In order to get that last book, they have to go into the divine area. They need to find the light spell. The light spell will allow them to find a hidden area in the 2nd floor of the mines that contains the evil bell, which GFM has. And then you learn that the evil bell is what summons the demons. You have to go into the basement of the man's house in town. And if you ring the bell there, you'll get your progression. So right now, our progression for our players, Nighty unfortunately is in the back. He needs to kill these goons who are guarding this treasure box, but they just stand there and they whack you. And he's really hesitant here to just kind of do this. It really feels wrong that you're just supposed to bump into these guys, damage them, and then just recharge your health. And so Nighty's not going to do that because it feels like what he's not supposed to do. But in fact, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So GFM is in the lead right now. GFM has found the evil bell that's in the 2nd level of the mines. He is missing the rhodonut, which is in the ruins. If he found that, he would be able to get the potion for Lilia. Puffer King and someone still need to figure out how to find the evil bell, and the trick there is going to be that they need to use the light spell to reveal hidden passages. So that's where our players stand in order to make some progression. I think that there'll wind up being 2 more segments of this game after today. Ys 2 is a lot longer than Ys 1. It's also got a lot more grinding in it, and the final boss is significantly more difficult than any of the bosses in Ys 1, really. Since the 3rd part of Ys 2, that'll be race number 5, it'll probably wind up being shorter because it'll mostly just be a rush of the final bosses. We'll be doing a special bonus game that day. We'll reveal that maybe towards the end of this broadcast. It'll be a classic NES game that there's a good chance that nobody in the chat has played before. But it's a short one, and it's kind of wonky, but kind of fun. And so we'll probably do a race of that. That'll be a one-segment race. And I think after we finish up East 2, we might be playing some N64 games. Might be doing some Goemon 64, a Legend of Zelda sort of 3D dungeon crawler adventure game. Or we might play some Rocket Robot on Wheels for some classic N64 collectathon action. Still haven't decided yet. But in the meantime, we've got some more Ys here. So this door that someone wants to go through, it's locked by an immense force. You do have to return all the books of Ys in order to pass through it. It's not going to let you through until you've done that. Puffer King needs to figure out the light spell. This is one of the hints that that was in the paste spin. Because this one took me a while to realize, and I kind of discovered it by accident. Normally you'd think I get a spell of light, well, I should wait until I find an area that's too dark to see, and that's when you cast a light spell. But this is Ys. In Ys, you want to equip it early because you don't realize it's too dark to see. So Nighty got the hint that there is a flower that grows by shady ponds, so he is examining these little bodies of water here in the mines closely. That's a clever decision. I did exactly the same thing, but unfortunately that's not it. Almost every time this game tells you you need to look for something somewhere, you'll actually be able to physically see it on the map. You've just got to walk over to it and pick it up, which is a nice little touch. And it can work in our players' advantage because they may be able to see the items even before they get the clue. Yeah, so Nighty is our only player who doesn't have magic yet. He does need to go back up to the ruins and beat up the two goons guarding the chest, even though it feels like you shouldn't. It's a really confusing part, because when I played as well, I did the same thing. I killed those goons as soon as I could, because I felt, man, this is going to be the thing that's going to give me the really good time, not realizing, no, that's what the game really anticipates you doing. Someone taking another quick look around these mines. So this is something I'm really fond of in classic games. A lot of these really old school games, they don't give you a map. There's no, oh, you got the map and it shows you everything. There's no mini map that automatically fills out as you explore. This is a game where it really could benefit you if you took the time to sit down and draw out the mines, because then you would discover really quickly, oh, I actually have explored everything. Everything is explored. Alright, Puffer's heading back up towards the chest with the light spell in it. I think he's already got that spell. Alright, we see Puffer is finally using those extra save files, so everybody can feel a wave of relief wash over them that Puffer is being safe here. Oh, here it is. Puffer has found the magic of light. So that's 3 players have found the light spell. None of them have figured it out. However, GFM happened to stumble upon the solution, and here it is. He's gone into the basement, he rings the bell, and a wall crashes down, and who is it? Is it our friend Colin? No, it's just a crap ton of monsters, and GFM is like, nope, I'm out. So if GFM needed to gain some levels, this is not a bad spot to do it. There's just an absolute wave of monsters in that room. That's just like hundreds of experience points just marching straight at you. So here we go, GFM pulling further ahead into the lead. With this, he has returned the Book of Fact, and this will unlock the door to let him leave the Divine area, and he'll finally get to explore some new spots in this area. Today's goal is going to explore about 3 places. We're going to explore the Divine area, which is where we are now. The players are going to take a jaunt through the Ice Wall, which is a fairly short and straightforward area. And then the last area we're going to explore is the obligatory lava-themed map. It is absolutely important that every game have a lava-themed area, which is one of the reasons why Falcom felt that East 1 was incomplete, because it did not have a lava area. Thankfully, East 3 managed to make up for that by working the lava area into it without having to create another game. So that's one reason why East 1 and 2 had to be made as a complete game. Puffer King collecting the Wand of Light again. Puffer's been kind of doing some weird save file stuff here. I think part of his issue is he's being very cautious about being trapped. And so he's reloading save files when he's low on health. These monsters are still worth pretty good experience points for Puffer. They're giving him 40 experience points a pop. So it's not unreasonable for him to use that to grind a few more levels. Now he's checking a couple more shady ponds here, looking to see if he can find that flower, but unfortunately this is not the right area. It's like someone's also figured out the puzzle here. You're informed that there's a feeling of evil here in the basement, and you realize that you ring the bell and the monsters come. And it looks like someone is just gonna nuke these guys with fireballs from a distance, and look at those experience points just roll in. Puffer still hasn't figured out where to find the Rhodanut, but is going to go ahead and nibble on a little flower here. This flower is a really good health restore. Restores full health and full magic points. So we'll see if any of the players think to return and pick up another one after they've used it. Someone walks into the next room and immediately gets devoured by monsters. Now he's taking another tour of the dungeon to see if he's missed anything. Now, at this point, the players are definitely going to be feeling a little bit of chagrin that they lost their Ring of Healing from the previous game. An incredibly powerful item that lets you restore your health anywhere. Suddenly, they're back to exploring dungeons, and particularly this game is really stingy about places where you can restore your health. East 2, basically every other map in the tower lets you restore your health, but not so here. you have to talk to these NPCs if you want to restore your health. Yeah, Nighty is very lost here, not sure where he's supposed to go. What he's looking for is all the way back on the surface. So now that GFM has returned all the books, the next place he needs to go back to the Divine Area, and the door that was previously locked, he should now be able to open. Nighty can't shake the feeling that there's some place in these mines that he hasn't that he's missed. It's like someone is going to take a moment here to grind, and it gets devoured by this wave of monsters. There we go. He gets to his safe place. Oh, there we go. That was a good run there. Puffer really wants to get through this collapsed doorway, but unfortunately you just can't get through. It's not the kind of collapsed doorway that you can open up. Maybe if he had a certain wall-crushing ally with him, but unfortunately this is East 2, and we are not going to be seeing Dogi or any Dogi-like alternative characters in today's session. So Nighty taking the classic approach here. If you are absolutely stuck in a game, just go back to the start and just check everything. Make sure that there's nothing that you've avoided. Now the good news is the thing he's looking for is pretty early on. He just needs to head back to the ruins and he needs to beat up those guards. Hopefully he gives that a try. Especially now, he should have a nice, I think he's got a level 2 sword by now. With a level 2 sword, he'll be able to beat up those golems a lot faster. Someone wisely taking the time to grind. Although this area is really dangerous because just this giant wave of monsters, it's way too easy to get stuck. Also, accidentally has the Wand of Return equipped instead of the Wand of Fireball. Doesn't quite work as well when you are trying to sling fireballs with the wrong wand. Nighty's so close to where he needs to be. Looks like someone's gained a couple of levels here. Taking a moment to stock up. Oh, Nighty, you're so close. Just restore your health. You can do it. You're so close, Nighty. Just do it. Just beat him up. You can restore your health. You can make it happen. Oh, Nighty, you're so close. You're so close, buddy. Oh, poor Nighty. GFM reading the hint that teaches you how to use the light spell. Here it is. Someone is going down the stairs, and here he is, Ice Park East. So after the previous area, Ice Park is probably going to be a walk in the park. It's only 2 screens long, not that many treasure chests to find, pretty simple progression. And then just a boss fight at the end. Of course, it's an ice zone, so we've got these ramps that you can't walk up. Now he searched everything in the mines. He searched every area of the divine area. He knows he can't do anything to the boss. So someone has the ice drops. He needs to use the ice drops on this screen. There's a place that looks like a bridge. And you just have to use the ice drops there. Ooh, looks like GFM has figured out the light spell. But this is only going to get GFM one more item. We'll give him the iron ore. So I think now that GFM understands what the light spell does, he's going to get that one more item he needs. Well, he doesn't need, but that's going to give him the ability to get some better armor. There we go. Knighty's found the Wand of Holy World. I like that the players are using this pickaxe everywhere. Although the pickaxe has... I don't think you use the pickaxe ever again in it. Yeah, so someone is in a pretty small area here. So the good news is there's not a lot of places he can look to figure out his progression. So with that, Knighty's got fireball magic now. So suddenly he can take on the boss. GFM is ready to go to the ice area. He just needs to find the door. And the door is just on his way to the divine area. He's already got the evil bell. He's already used the evil bell. He's already turned in his last book. Yeah, someone is pulling way ahead here on the experience curve. This will be a colossal help on the next boss. Someone's got the right idea. Here's this doorway that you can't reach. Oh, used it everywhere but the right spot. It's like Knighty's taking out his aggressions on these monsters. He was very unhappy with that solution to that puzzle. Oh, does GFM not have the magic of return yet? Maybe that's why GFM hasn't gone to the ice wall yet. So I think GFM might still be missing the Rhoda Nut. The Rhoda Nut is in the ruins. It's simply laying on the ground. You simply wander around until you find it. And once he has that, he'll be able to brew the medicine for Bernice's daughter Lilia in order to cure her unnamed but apparently dangerous disease. Puffer King has found the evil bell. I don't think he figured out the fire magic, but it doesn't matter. He found the evil bell, and that's enough to get him to the next area. Alright, with that, Nighty effortlessly defeats this boss. Alright, he's making some progression. Meanwhile, we see Puffer King here has found the evil bell. This is a big deal. This is another very difficult part of the puzzle. With this evil bell in tow, he's able to make his way back up to the surface, and he will be able to finally move on and return his last of his missing library books of Ys. Oh, I think he already suspects. Oh, no, wait. Maybe he thought it was a different house. Actually, I have no idea what Puffer King's doing. But the good news is he's got a very important item right now, even if he doesn't realize it. Meanwhile, someone has very little area that he can explore here, so he's going to be figuring out these misty ice drops soon enough, I think. Oh, Puffer really wanted that bell to open this door, but it doesn't. It's like Nighty stumbled upon the room with the evil bell, so hopefully he goes back and collects that item. That'll be a huge bonus to him finding that so quickly. So someone is searching the ice park. I don't think he figured out what to do with the misty ice drops yet. Just has to use it to reach that very conspicuous but unavailable door. And he's going to head on down here and is going to pick up his evil bell. So Puffer has figured out the evil bell. And with this, he's down in the basement. He's grinding some monsters for plenty of experience points now. Oh, I like this idea. Someone thinking that maybe you can equip the Claria ring to run up these ramps. But no, it doesn't work that way. So Nighty has found everything he was looking for. He's got the last ingredient to make the potion. He's got an evil bell. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows it's got to be useful. It looks like Puffer King's going to take his time here grinding against enemies. And he gets bit. Hopefully he saved recently. Alright, he saved pretty recently, so he's fine. And GFM is still searching here. I'm not sure GFM knows what he's looking for at this time. He needs to head back to the ruins. What he's looking for is laying perfectly out in the open in the ruins. Nighty finally turning in that side quest.
I am sorry, but I overheard you talking to Bernice. I was about to die of a disease I knew nothing about. But you risked your life to get the medicine that I so desperately needed. I owe my life to you. How can I ever thank you?
There it is. Someone figured it out. You just got to stand in the right spot. Then he tries to use the Misty Ice Drops to freeze his enemy in its tracks, but the enemy's just like, what? And then he shoots it in the face with several fireballs instead. There we go. GFM has returned the ingredients to get Lilia's medicine. That'll get him the Wand of Return. So I think our players are in good state here to all be in the ice park very soon. Nighty had a hiccup here. Ooh, Nighty's figuring it out pretty quickly here. It's like Puffer King's going to chow down on that delicious Kyria flower. That's a full restore of everything. Make his adventuring much safer. Someone needs to be very careful here. He is a little bit in a fragile state at the moment. And if he happens to save directly over a monster spawn point, he could wind up with a dead save file and have to load an old one. And we have the most fun room of the game. This ice bridge that's just covered in ice blocks, and you just nuke them all with fireballs. Someone's picked up another very valuable item. The magic rod of transform allows him to turn into a monster. In exchange for a few magic points, he can explore pretty much with impunity. The monsters will leave him alone and let him explore as much as he wants. Someone picks up a really useful item here, the stone shoes, and I think he figures out immediately what those do. Walks right on up, and there's a door, and the door doesn't do anything. And you say, why doesn't this door do anything? And so it's back to exploration time. It's like Puffer King is still going to grind enemies. There it is. GFM talks to the statue and is informed that the way forward has been opened. Puffer King discovers the one danger of using magic. You get a little bit too used to just standing still. And if a monster walks into your hitbox while you're standing still, it's just going to chew through your hit points in a second. So you have to be absolutely cautious to move if a monster starts to encroach on your hitbox. Someone is now re-exploring the ice cavern or the ice wall. Now that he has the boots of stone. And there is an important item that he needs to find. He needs to find a magic mirror that's located here in the first part of the ice zone. He sees that box, he knows he's going to want to go for it. Oh, here we go. Someone has found a hidden room here. And there it is, the Cape of the Holy Spirit. It's the equivalent of the healing ring, which means that once again, someone is able to restore health by just standing still. So that is an absolutely wonderful find here by someone. And that's going to be a huge help. So now Nighty's got a pretty big pot of gold right now. He can decide where he's going to spend that. Whether he's going to save it up and he's going to use it to buy some new armor later, or if he's going to splurge it on a katana to increase his offensive power. So at this point, GFM is now also in the ice zone, significantly lower levels than someone is. So GFM is going to find this area a lot more threatening than someone did. And here's Nighty entering the ice zone as well. Looks like Puffer is going to splurge on a katana. That katana is going to give him maximum offensive power. So with that, I think Puffer King is also ready to join the ice zone, if only he remembers where the doorway is. Or maybe he's going to grind some more. He's got his new sword. He's going to kill these monsters for a while, which is not a bad idea. No, maybe he's going to explore here some more. Maybe he thought he missed something. So I think at this point someone knows exactly what he's doing. Ooh, he took a colossal amount of damage there. Climbs up, and so he was informed by a helpful scroll that there's an illusion here that the... Oh, I see. Yeah, someone's got the magic cape, so he doesn't care how much damage he takes. He can restore it anytime he wants. Clever. Clever move there. So the magic scroll informed him that the door that he sees here is in fact an illusion, and that the true door will only be revealed by using the magical mirror. Puffer King gets the scroll of guidance, is going to be informed. He's going to be informed the door has opened. So we see someone's trying to fight this boss with the sword. Once again, you don't fight bosses in this game with the sword. You fight them with your fireballs. This game is now officially a shmup. There we go. Someone gets a hit in. So at this point, I think someone knows what he's supposed to do. Just has to execute. Which it always feels good when you finally get to the point where you know what to do. You just have to execute. It looks like Nighty has picked up the Misty Ice Drops. Just has to figure out what to do with those. Someone just eats one of these fireballs. These fireballs have, they don't disappear when you get hit. So it's really easy to just eat one of those and just lose all of your health. Got this lovely ice zone theme playing here in the ice park. Someone doing an excellent job against this boss, just taking it easy. His high level and his good offensive power means that he's dealing plenty of damage to this boss. Nighty's got the right idea here. Ice drops to bridge this gap. He's just got the wrong spot picked out. Ooh, Nighty figured that out fast. It's good. He needed that to catch up with someone. There we go. Someone having an excellent boss fight there. He gets the perfect score. No damage. Every time you defeat a boss in East with no damage at all, you get a special reward. That special reward is really just nothing. The developers just feel really good about how well you did. But maybe that feeling of accomplishment will benefit someone moving on in this goal. Meantime, we see Puffer King is continuing to grind these enemies. This is a really good grind spot. He's gaining a lot of experience points. He's gaining a lot of money here. Although these monsters aren't worth quite as much as his level goes up. That is the unfortunate downside. Oh, Nighty also finding the hidden room with this cape. So that's another colossal benefit to Nighty. It's like GFM is taking some time here to grind on monsters. This is a really good idea. And someone pulling ahead here is already in the lava zone. So you might think to yourself, man, we've been using a fireball this whole goal, but suddenly I'm in the lava area and maybe my fireball isn't going to be optimal. And to that I'm going to say, no, you're just going to keep shooting stuff with fireballs. A giant ball of fire just works against everything. So it looks like GFM and Puffer King both have the same idea here. Just grind the monsters here in this underground room. It's just so much experience that you're collecting. This makes the rest of the goal just so much easier. Just gotta watch. Yeah, GFM got a little too greedy. Took some damage there and took a death. Someone has made his way all the way to the easternmost side of the Burn Land, which is the lava zone, and finds a little town here. There's a couple of people to talk to, and is going to get some important information. So this person is given important information, you know, because they talk very slowly. You're told that the guard was visited by the goons. This is another character who tells you something important. The path that leads to the ice park. They think that there's a spirit there. Yeah, so now that Nighty's got this cape of health restore, this is going to make his exploration way easier. He's going to be able to restore his health at regular intervals while he's exploring. And here's Puffer King. Puffer King is our fourth racer to make it to the ice park. So it's a bit of a change of fortunes here, that Puffer was the first to defeat the boss, but the first boss, but unfortunately has fallen a bit behind after some difficulty figuring out the secret of the ice rod. Oh, Puffer's gone back. Does he not want to explore the ice park? Or maybe he wants to top off his hit points? Looks like GFM wants to grind a little bit more here. Maybe he's got his eyes on a piece of equipment he wants to buy, because he's gaining some pretty steady gold here. Look at that, already 5,000 gold pieces. Looks like that was a level up right there. Looks like GFM wisely taking a break there so he doesn't lose those experience points if he takes a death. There it is. That's the death. So thankfully he saved his game and is not going to lose progress. There's Nighty killing these little ram creatures. Do you think that these are like some kind of weird goats? Or are they like Yeti creatures? So here's the locked door. Nighty says, oh, I don't know how to open it. And someone has found an interesting item. Someone has found the Falcon Idol, which causes his shots to home in on enemies. And then someone walks through a door and immediately dies from the poison. Here it is, Puffer King figuring out the light magic. Gets the iron ore that'll let him buy some better armor. GFM trying in vain to hold off a wave of enemies with his fireballs, but he just can't shoot those fireballs fast enough. Someone trying to cross the poison room, but it just does not work. Tries transforming. Nope, transforming doesn't work. Now he stands in front of the goddess and his magic scroll transforms and gets a very, very explicit hint here that the door is an illusion and has to find something that will reveal the illusion. And unsurprisingly, Nighty probably has figured out that you have to use these shoes in order to dispel that illusion somehow. Possibly by climbing a couple of slopes that he could not previously climb. Now someone is taking the time to talk to these enemies while in transformed form. This is good. He's getting a really good hint here from one of these lizard men. It says that the duck demons were driven to the tunnel between Ice Park and Burnland. But actually, it probably doesn't matter because someone found the Rototree leaf just laying there on the ground, which is really what you needed the duck demons for. So the good news is someone needs that. That is the item that will allow him to cross the poison gas room without damage. We'll see if he can figure that out. There's Nighty picking up his illusion mirror. Listen to that sound effect. Just shades of Legacy of the Wizard there. That classic Falcom sound effect bank just coming at you in waves of nostalgia. Oh, here we go. Someone has figured out you have to use the evil bell, and you can summon these little monsters. And there it is. Someone gets the hint. You just need a Rototree leaf and you can get past the poison gas. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a playthrough of Legacy of the Wizard sometime here. That'll be a really tricky one to set goals for. Well, here you go. You can watch part 2, and you can pretend this is a strategy guide. This is like the Nintendo Power East 1 and 2 walkthrough, complete with maps and commentary. Puffer King is really dedicated to grinding out some levels, and I'm very proud of him for this. He's way ahead of 90 now in experience points, so this will be a huge advantage for him when he fights another boss. So GFM has found the Misty Grapes here, the Misty Ice Drops. Just has to figure out where to use these. There we go. Someone has made it through the poison room. Oh my god. Single segment, Legacy of the Wizard, blind. So 90's offensive power isn't nearly as good as someone's. He can defeat this boss, but this is going to be a little bit tricky. So 90 has managed... Oh god, 72 hours. So 90 read the hint in the paste bin that says figure out what the light rod does. But he managed to find the evil bell without figuring out what the light rod does. Alright, so someone has defeated this fire guy, and there's a chest, and it contains a blue orb, and he's like, wow, this looks incredibly important. I don't know why I was looking for this. So there is a couple of puzzles left here before someone is going to be able to finish this. Most importantly, he's going to need to head back to town, and he's going to need to realize that some of the villagers are giving him some important hints. Meanwhile, 90 is facing off against this guy. His offensive output is really low. Now, we did, as somebody in the chat kind of confirmed, your attack power also determines your magic power. And so there may be sort of a perverse logic here where the player says, oh, well, if I'm just going to cast magic, why bother buying a better sword? So we might see 90, well, but also 90 really can't spend any money on armor because he did not find the iron ore in the mine. And without the iron ore, there are no better armor to buy. So someone's made it all the way to the furthest west point of Burnland, and there's a dead end here that looks like, oh, this could be the prison where the little boy is locked, but can't do anything here. It doesn't even give you a hint. Oh, look at this. GFM figuring out the Misty Ice Drops pretty quickly here. That forms a bridge, and that's going to get him to the other side of the ice zone. Looks like Puffer King has taken some more time to grind here. Absolutely dedicated to capping out his level. Yeah, and in book 1, half of the items you pick up are just keys. This game, I don't think this game has... There's one key. Maybe there's 2 keys. Two keys? I can think of 2 keys. There's a couple of key-like items, but you have to actually use them, which makes it a lot harder when you have to figure out where to use the items. So it looks like GFM splurged on the best suit of armor he could afford, or he could find, which puts him in a great spot here. He'll be taking a lot less damage than the other players. Alright, looks like Puffer's finally had enough grinding and is ready to go to the ice zone. Looks like Nighty killed just enough monsters to gain a level, and he's going to give this boss another shot-a-roo. And Nighty immediately leaves the dungeon, leaves the boss fight. Nighty figuring out really quick you really have to avoid those projectiles. Those projectiles deal a colossal amount of damage. This boss also has a terrible hitbox. It's very easy to shoot and miss him. So I think now that Nighty has figured out the pattern, he should be able to beat this boss. He might need another attempt. He took a lot of damage early on. Yep. But I think his next attempt will go very well. There we go, GFM realizing this is the easiest puzzle in the game. You just shoot fireballs. Yeah, so this goal is going to end just before the Temple of Solomon. And yeah, I'm going to say the Temple of Solomon blind is probably about 4 hours. That's about how long it took me. Ooh, Nighty letting himself get cornered, and he takes one of these fireballs directly to the head. Oops, someone has figured out you just transform into a demon in front of the bridge guard, and he immediately spills his guts. Got this fun little joke commentary that you talk to the one guy as Adol, and he says, the best thing to do when you see a demon is to pretend to be dead, and then when you talk to him as a demon, he says, oh, I'm dead. So now that someone has talked to Kudo and revealed his that he is collaborating with the goons, he just needs to talk to him again. Yep, here we go. And the gate guard finally gives up and reveals what had happened, that his son has been kidnapped, and that's why he's lying about the bridge. And he begs Adol to allow him to, rescue his son. And here we get one of the more interesting items in the game, the Whisper Earrings. These let you hear any sound, and the game is pretty clever with these. You use these in a couple of places. And they're more fun than most items because it explains pretty quickly what they do, so you can logically work out where you're supposed to use these. So we see Nighty fighting the final boss of the Ice Zone. He's just a little bit away from reaching the Fire Zone, which is the last zone of the goal. Having a much better time with the boss this time. Just got to play it cautiously. Don't be greedy. Don't take any unnecessary hits. So someone is going to make his way all the way back to the other side of Iceland, or to Burnland, and maybe see some tangible progress there. And Puffer King figures out where to use the Misty Ice Drops pretty quickly there. So that is all the players have made it to the other side of Ice Park. So that first part of this goal was pretty long and slow, but now our players are probably feeling good. They're seeing new areas. They're making some steady progress. Notably, I think GFM and Puffer King are going to have a much easier time with this boss than Nighty is, because they took a lot of time to grind up their levels. Nighty manages to get the clear right there. He defeats the boss, gets a well-deserved refill to his health, gets a big chunk of experience points. Here it is. Nighty enters Burnland. Here, GFM also found the hidden chest that contains the cape that's going to restore his health anywhere he wants. So that's another huge find for GFM. He's going to find that very valuable through the whole rest of the game. Will make his exploration much easier. And here's someone using his earrings to hear the voice behind the wall. And we've got some fully voiced audio here. CD enhanced quality audio as we hear the voice of Tarf, the kidnapped boy, speaking to our eardrums. No longer shall we gamers have to use our eyeballs to read words on the screen. Now we can just listen to them using our ears. And someone is informed that a blue orb will solve the problem, and hey, he already has that. Nighty walks into the next room. It's full of poison gas. He dies instantaneously. Thank goodness he's saved. Nighty is dying, and he's desperately looking for something he can do to stop it, and it is not happening. See, GFM taking a breather here. Maybe he needed to take a restroom break. It has been 2.5 hours here. This is our blind segmented playthrough of Ys 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx 16. I hope that you've been enjoying yourselves. We will be playing through the entirety of this game. It'll be over 5 segments. This is segment number 3. We will have 2 more segments coming up. We'll be doing another segment next week, and the final segment will be the week after that. So that will be on the 16th and the 23rd of May. It is May. Yes, it's May. So we'll be playing through the rest of the game. This is just one in a long series of many games that we have played segmented. We've done some other classics. We've played Prince of Persia series. We've played the Metroid Prime series. We've played the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And we will be playing many more games. We will have when we do the last segment will be shorter than the rest since it consists of a very difficult final boss. So to make up for the short segment, we will be playing a bonus game as well. Oh yeah, that's right, we played through Star Tropics. That was a very difficult one. So we'll be doing a bonus game that week as well. I think we'll be playing through Worm for the NES. That's a very short action-adventure game. Will probably take players about an hour and a half to complete the full game. Too short for a segmented blind race, but perfectly fine to fit in to fill out a broadcast. So keep an eye out for that in a couple of weeks when we play the last part of Ys 1 and 2. And of course, we've had some other exciting things go on. If you were on this channel yesterday, on Saturday, we had our other events. We have our weekly blinds have restarted. We played. What did we play? We played. I'm drawing a blank. What did we play yesterday? Bird. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Bird Gut. Thank you. We played Bird Gut, and next week we'll be joined with we'll have another weekly blind next Saturday. We will be playing the classic PlayStation adventure game, The Fifth Element, based on the movie. So make sure to get yourself a multi-pass and join us for that. We also have every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific. We have Mystery, which is an event run by Internet Dirigible, and that rather than doing a race, that is a high score event over a limited period of time. Players play a game and they try to earn the highest score possible. All right, we see someone here is really close to the end. This is the door to the boss room. Looks like Nighty picked up on the hint. One of the monsters mentioned there's a hidden nut here. Gets it? So we've got yet another boss fight here. This one is against a giant puking face. And it just pukes up this giant cord of guts, kills you with it, and then devours it. So my apologies if there's anybody here who is squeamish, but we are going to be seeing this guy barfing up his guts quite a few times as our players figure out how to defeat it and finish the goal. So there it is. Someone figures out its weak point is just you shoot it in the mouth when it opens it. Very basic video game boss behavior. Someone's also dealing incredibly poor damage against this thing. This is going to take a really long time. So not a bad strategy would be to go look for ways to increase your damage output, whether that's gain some levels or if that is to buy a better piece of equipment. Here we go, Nighty figuring out the secret here. By transforming into a goon, he gets the guard to spill his guts. Spill his guts in a completely different way than this giant barfing face that is. It looks like someone is going to grind out another level here with this magic cape. With this magic cape, this grind will be pretty easy since he can just restore his health by sitting perfectly still and shooting fireballs. We see GFM taking a shot against this boss, and discovering right away that having no iframes really sucks. But the good news is he's got plenty of attack power, so he is dealing pretty big chunks of damage to the boss. So this should not be too difficult of a fight for GFM. I think we'll see GFM clearing this pretty easily. Just needs to get used to the boss's pattern. Of course, the weakness is you have to be standing where he can hit you in order to hit him. So you gotta shoot and juke. That's the name of the game, shoot and juke. So someone has settled in for a little bit of a grind here. I want to say 34,000 experience points is the threshold for the next level. There's a good chance as soon as he hits that level up, he's going to immediately give it another shot. Can't believe you talked about what other events are going out without mentioning Troopa. Yeah, I really haven't been following along with Troopa. I think they're getting pretty late in the tournament, aren't they? The Giant Troopa tournament is a special event that we've been doing. Jal has been running that event. And the Giant Troopa tournament has been players drawing from a list of games that contains every game in the Giant Bomb database, which means you can get anything. You can get obscure PC titles. You can get games that have absolutely confusing progression, like dating sims, or like simulation games like The Sims. So that has been a real treat for players to figure out even how they're supposed to race things. Oh, we see Puffer King finds the hidden room that contains the magic cape. So every one of our players successfully found the hidden cape that will give them health restoration. So that'll be a huge boon to their exploration in the dungeons. Looks like someone is taking another shot against the boss, has gained a level, and that's increased his damage output by quite a bit. We have another new event that's starting soon. The Steam tournament is being hosted by Boney. Boney, who originally came up with the concept of Mystery Tournament and is the patriarch of the Blind Discord. The Steam tournament is going to be a special event where players pick games that are in their Steam catalogs. If you are an ordinary human being who plays video games, you probably have at least a few dozen games in your Steam catalog that you bought and you never bothered playing. This is your opportunity to play through it. In the Steam tournament, you and your opponent will compare Steam catalogs. You'll find a game that you both have that you haven't played yet. And then you're going to play games out of your Steam catalog that have just been sitting there. So this will be a pretty fun tournament where if you join in, it'll be an opportunity for you to play games that you actually wanted to play because you presumably paid money to buy them. So definitely take the time to join that if you are an ordinary game-playing human being who has a Steam backlog. And if you want to watch it, you'll probably see a lot of higher quality games. Not that Mystery Tournament has low quality games, but this will be a lot of classic titles that people have probably picked up in various Steam sales and are going to probably be higher quality than usual. Someone got a good round against the boss there. The boss get up on his face and just load him up with fireballs. He loves to eat fireballs. It's his favorite food. He loves spicy food. Just give him lots of fireballs. He'll eat every single one of those. Nighty's murdering the duck demons for 50 experience points a pop. Oh no, someone taking a death right there. Right there at the end. Gonna have to give it another shot, but at least he knows he's in position where he can finish this off. This is the end of the goal. As soon as he kills this monster, he is done with today's goal. And he can get that dot done and claim that delicious first place finish. Now you're trying to figure out why on earth he's summoning a bunch of duck demons. Unless he wants to grind these monsters. Someone off to a good start here on their fight. Nice chunk of damage to the boss. No damage to them yet. Oh, I spoke too soon. They got nicked by a giant tentacle thing. We see GFM fighting off against the ice boss. Making good progress here. Oh, cuts too close to one of these fireballs. You really need to be focused on your escape route from these fireballs over your lining up your shots. Ooh, that was close, but GFM dodges it. He's really close here. 2 more shots. Oh no! GFM misses and then fails to dodge. And here is Puffer King revealing the doorway to the boss. So it looks like GFM and Puffer King are in a close race here to see who can defeat this boss first. Puffer King's got the advantage of experience points. He's got a level over GFM, which means that he's going to have a bit of an advantage going into this. He's going to deal more damage and take less damage. But GFM has experience here. And there it is. There is the killing blow by someone, 325. Defeats the boss of the lava zone. Gets a bunch of experience points. Going to gain some levels. Saves their game, and there is the dot done. Finished in first place with an SRL time of 2 hours, 34 minutes, 9 seconds. Well done to someone, 325. Going to do a little bit of a victory lap here around, around the room to celebrate that they have completed another challenging goal. Oh, GFM had such a good fight there and then just walked straight into a fireball, and that's it. Just that was all of the hit points gone. Looks like we see Nighty here is making his way through Burnland. He's got the earrings, and as soon as he kills this monster, he'll get the blue orb. So he'll be all set to clear this side of Burnland. So yet again, we have just a monster just sitting here in place. And you just run up against it until it dies. He doesn't really put any effort into not taking damage? I don't know. Oh, GFM taking another death here. Alright, let's see how this goes for Puffer King. Puffer King is taking less damage and dealing more damage. So he's got a little bit of an advantage here that he doesn't have to perform nearly as well as GFM to get a victory on this boss. Now, if the players are close enough, you can get 2 hits per round on this boss. It's difficult and it's risky because there's a good chance of getting hit if you do that. Then he whips out his trusty pickaxe. Now he has the right idea. Unfortunately, he just needs to put on those earrings, and then he needs to walk to and from the wall to get his secret message. You see GFM and Puffer King both trying to defeat the second boss of the goal, the boss of the Ice Zone. This is a difficult boss. They do have to be really careful about dodging his attacks. There it is. Now he figures it out.
Is someone out there? My name is Tarf. I am the son of the bridge guard. I truly hope that you can save me. But I'm afraid this rock is very solid and will be most difficult to break.
So this is immediately when you start to get suspicious, because a small child used the word truly, and that's a sign that it's really a demon in disguise. There we go, GFM finding a great pattern there, just leading the boss around in a little circle and getting lots of hits. So well done by GFM. He's going to get a full health restore, going to gain a level, and more importantly is going to get access to a new area, is going to gain access to Burnland. Once again, a small child says, indeed, a warning sign that this is probably actually a demon in disguise. Puffer King getting the kill on the boss right after GFM, so it is neck and neck right now between Puffer King and GFM. Nighty spent some time way behind the others, but as soon as he figured out a fairly trivial puzzle, realizing that he just had to kill a monster that didn't seem like he should kill it, he made tremendous progress. He figured out several puzzles in really short order. I mean, really, you do need to be cautious of children masquerading as monsters. So we see GFM here is wisely using his transformation spell to talk to these monsters, and he's getting a lot of good hints here. He knows that he needs a rotatory leaf in order to get through the toxic passage. What happens when all children are monsters? It's called high school.
You must be the warrior who brought the orb. Soon after, the demon held me above his head and crossed through the lava. Then he brought me to the entrance of the village. Oh yes, I almost forgot to tell you. When I was locked up, there was a strange message written on the wall. I couldn't actually read it, but I think it was written by the demon key.
Yes, Burnland Village is in fact a warp point. So rather than being a sucker and walking all the way across Burnland, you just warp there. And GFM walks into the toxic gas room and dies a rapid, horrific death as a consequence. So with the bridge open, Nighty is on his final leg of his journey in today's goal. He's a little bit underleveled though. I think he'll really want to grind out some more experience. The bosses coming up in the game. The bosses coming up in the game are pretty challenging, and you really want to have the right experience levels for them. Yeah, we did have a lot of players get stuck on a lot of different things. A lot of players struggled with figuring out the light spell. In fact, I think a few of the players never figured out the light spell. I think Nighty still doesn't know what it does. Where the light spell is actually used in the mines, it causes the doorways to glow, and it reveals the passages that are in north-facing walls. You're intended to equip the light spell, and then it'll show the passage to the evil bell, and that's how you're supposed to find the tunnel that takes you to the evil bell. Nighty got stuck for a very, very long period of time. The two golems in the first screen of the ruins that guard the treasure chest, he kept assuming that he wasn't supposed to kill those. The fact that you bump into them and they just kick you back and deal mutual damage. His assumption was, well, this is a sign I'm not supposed to fight them yet. So it took him a colossal amount of time. He found absolutely everything that could be found before collecting magic power. We had a lot of players got stuck looking for the evil bell. I think that was probably the part that threw the players off the most, and I expected that. That's why I did put a hint in the paste bin regarding using the light spell. I think GFM figured it out. Yeah, surprisingly, that's exactly what the game intends for you to do. We did find the players. I was very impressed that everybody managed to find the healing cape. I didn't expect that. I thought that some players might pass over that, but apparently everybody found it. And so here is Nighty trying to figure out what he's supposed to do to this boss. And Nighty is just going to get devoured by a giant cloud of puke. Nighty coping a little bit with this ability to walk out of the boss room. There we go, Nighty figuring out how you're supposed to damage the boss, although finding that his damage output is a little bit underwhelming at the moment. It's like GFM found the Rota-tree leaf, that's good. I think he might already realize that he needs that to cross the poison room. Now, Nighty's at a bit of a disadvantage here. I don't think Nighty ever figured out the light spell, and I don't think he ever found out where the iron ore is. And because he never found the iron ore, he can't buy any better armor. So this boss is going to deal a tremendous amount of damage whenever he hits Nighty. And there's really nothing Nighty can do about it without doing a lot of backtracking. There we go. Nighty getting a nice cycle there, dealing a nice chunk of damage. But he's not dealing very much damage. This is looking pretty bad. I think he might need to soup up his power there. Yeah, he just touched that vomit snake, and it just destroyed him. It destroyed him as much as you would anticipate touching something that could be described as a vomit snake would do. We also saw some really good grind sessions from a couple of our players. We saw GFM and Puffer King in particular spent a lot of time in the basement grinding the monsters there. And that worked out really well in their favor, I think. That they got through the ice zone very quickly. Oh, Nighty just gets devoured there in a moment. But at least this is the point where you start to feel that sense of urgency. You're at the end of the goal. This is the last boss. You know that you're on the cusp of victory. That gives you a little bit of motivation to see it to the end. So Puffer King has found the lava room, but can't get across it. Needs to solve yet another puzzle if he wants to get any further. Puts on his Cape of Vitality, and then he immediately gets annihilated. Looks like Nighty is going to face the music, and he's going to grind out another level here. GFM getting the kill here, collecting the blue orb, a very important item. Nighty saving frequently as he goes through. Puffer King almost got across there. I wonder if you could pull a Metal Gear 1 and just run halfway across the room, refill your health with an herb, and then run across the else. Yeah, it's playing a game in a race setting really changes how you perceive it, because suddenly you feel that judgment of your performance is being graded against other people playing too. That can definitely change how you perceive a game as a result of that. Nighty grinding out his level here. I think he's about 1,500 experience points away. Trust me, you're not the worst player. We've had a number of players who have struggled even harder. A lot of people have heard of TMR, the Mexican runner. Possibly the most shocking race I ever watched was TMR and another player. They drew the Incredible Machine for PC. And I'm sure that most people here have played The Incredible Machine on PC. It's an incredibly popular game where you build Rube Goldberg machines to solve puzzles. TMR drew The Incredible Machine as his game in Mystery Tournament, and the race went on for an hour and a half, and neither player could complete the goal, which is to complete like the first 15 levels, which your average player will complete those in 30 minutes. It was incredibly shocking to watch that race and to say, do you not understand it? So there really is no worst player. Everybody finds a game that they struggle at and that they can't figure it out. So Nighty has gained a level here, and he's noticed something interesting. He's gained a level, and suddenly his fireballs have changed. His fireballs have gained a piercing property. See, now his fireballs are dealing a much more appreciable amount of damage. See, Nighty is dealing so much more damage than he was before. Look at that big, hearty chunk of damage there. I was watching the Dragon Quest marathon the other day, and they were playing through one of the games, and they brought up TMR playing Dragon Quest 2 for the NES as part of his NES playthrough, where he played every NES game, and they noted that TMR made it to the final area without finding the save point there. So TMR thought that he had to go through the second to last dungeon every single time he wanted to get to the final area. Which, to me, that's you probably, a lot of folks here probably have not played Dragon Quest II for the NES. That's an incredibly excruciating slog that normally you do once, you save your game, and then you have a checkpoint and you feel better about yourself. So that's just a sign that people can play things in a way that just makes it way more challenging. Alright, Nighty's having a really good attempt here. Oh, that's a big chunk of damage. He wanted to deal a lot more hits there, but he's almost got it. Oh, one hit away. Unfortunately, he takes one hit of damage, so he loses out on his no damage medal. But he gets the clear. With that clear, he's going to be able to advance There is the dot done with an SRL time of 2 hours, 56 minutes, 44 seconds. He's got to be feeling really good that he's managed to get through that. That was pretty rough at the beginning, but once he got over his first hurdle, Nighty was pretty unstoppable there. So congratulations to Nighty, getting that clear, saving his game, and he is done. Let's go ahead and get this layout switched over so that we can enjoy a nice big zoomed in screen here. Alright, looks like Puffer King has figured out the puzzle here. He has transformed into a demon to trick the bridge guard into revealing the plot. GFM trying to figure out, he knows that there's something unusual in this room. Does he figure out what he's supposed to do? I thought it was Dragon Quest II they were talking about. It's possible that it was Dragon Quest IV. But I think that it was, because I'm pretty sure that they were talking about the shrine in Dragon Quest II. Right before the final dungeon. So the good news is Puffer King is doing very well on experience points right now. He's really close to gaining that last level that will give him his boosted fireball. It will put him in a good spot for fighting the boss of the zone. Not sure what settings Nighty is using. Nighty has figured out some way to get his emulation to emulate the music properly. So we might have to have a chat with Nighty and figure out what it is that he is doing that he's got such better music. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out where our players are right now. I think GFM has the blue crystal, which means he's figured out the Rotoleaf. Puffer King has figured out the gate guard. It's possible Puffer right now is stuck because he doesn't know about the hidden Rotoleaf. That might be what's holding him up. It's like GFM is just going to transform and is just going to scoot past these monsters. Oh, GFM forgot about the poison room. Walks in, dies. And unfortunately didn't take a save on the way there, so he is going to have to walk through Burnland yet again. GFM equipping that Rotoleaf in advance because he forgets which room is the poisonous room. Makes it through. There we go. GFM dodging those enemies. He doesn't want to have to go through another box of dialogue. Alright, so GFM hasn't found the earrings yet. So that is, I think right now both of our players are at different points here. GFM has the blue orb and has made it to the prison, but hasn't figured out how to get the guard to reveal his scheme. I think Pufferfish may have figured out the guard, but might not have the Rotoleaf, which is needed to get to the other side of Burnland. So who progresses first will be which of the players manages to figure out the piece of information that the other player already has found. Now our players are in a chat with each other, kind of egging each other on. Allegedly they could give each other hints, but I don't know how much of that actually goes on. Yeah, we have a tendency for players not to share a lot of information. Since these races aren't part of an official tournament, sometimes we get a little more generous with giving hints. And in particular, if I notice one player is falling very far behind the others, sometimes we'll give them a hint to try to get them back on track. But certainly if a player is in the lead, we're not going to give them a hint if they get stuck. We're going to make them struggle for a little bit until the other players catch up. So Buffer King's got his earrings equipped. He's wondering if maybe that's what he's supposed to do in this room. The hint, of course, is that it tells you it's some kind of a demon, so he might want to get out his bell that's used to summon some kind of a demon. So which of our players will be the first to figure it out? Will GFM realize that he has to transform into a demon to trick the gate guard? Or will Pufferfish either notice the Rotoleaf sitting on the bank, or figure out that he can use the bell to summon some duck demons? Though I feel like the duck demons might be the easier one to figure out because there's a lot of hints given it to you. The villagers tells you that there's some demons in the passage to the park. If you transform into a demon and talk to the lizard men tell you. If you read the message, it tells you that, hey, it's some kind of a demon. That's a hint that maybe you should get your bell out. I don't think Puffer has the Rotoleaf. So he needs to be very careful, because this next room is the poison gas room, and he will die if he goes into that without a Rotoleaf. Yeah, he doesn't have the Rotoleaf, so he does have to be very careful not to go into the next room and die instantly. Oh, Puffer tries those earrings. Unfortunately, those earrings don't actually let you breathe toxic gas. Earrings don't tend to do that. We see GFM here is heading back to the ice zone. What is GFM doing? Maybe he's looking for the duck demons too. Maybe he thinks that this is how he needs to progress further. Well, except for I think you don't get the messages anymore. Once you have the leaf, it figures, you solved the puzzle. You don't want to deal with those messages anymore. GFM taking a lot of damage there, but wisely putting on his magic cape of healing. GFM slowly making his way... Where is he making his way to? I think GFM is on his way back to town, kind of. Oh, wait, he's taking a moment. He sees this empty room here, so he's going to take a moment and examine it. All right, GFM back in town. He needs to explore this town carefully if he's going to figure out how he's supposed to progress. So yeah, this is an important hint that GFM's getting. Unfortunately, it's a hint he already has taken advantage of. So it really doesn't help him. He needs to talk to the next old man who's going to give him the clue he needs to figure out where to go. Puffer King taking some time to gain some levels here. Maybe GFM has put it together? Oh, here we go. GFM discovers he has been betrayed. The gate guard has been cooperating with the goons. Thankfully, the gate guard is really dumb that you whip out that magic rod and transform into a demon, and he's like, oh, you're not Adol anymore. Which, of course, will be a recurring theme here in East 2. transforming in front of people and they're being too dumb to figure it out. Oh, but GFM, you got to go back and talk to the guard again. You've got to tell him. So GFM's back to exploring. Unfortunately, he's walking away from where he needs to be. There it is, Pufferking getting the hint he needs that the duck demons are there. Will he find the duck demons? Will he learn about the leaf that he needs? The little shaggy monsters revealing the traitor of the gate guard. GFM makes his way back to the passage between the ice park and the lava zone. He's really suspicious of this room because of all the rumors of duck demons. But there's nothing else here. He really wants to figure out what to do with this blue crystal, but you really can't do anything with it right now, unfortunately for GFM. Both of our players have riddles to solve. GFM was so close to solving it. Both of them have an item and they're determined to make the item that they found work for them, which is clever, but it's wrong. And Pufferking just walks right by that rhoda-tree leaf, doesn't even notice it. All right, that's Puffer picking up that's absolutely what he needs. He needs that leaf that was dropped. Is he going to notice it? See, this is also part of the game where it kind of breaks its own rules. You have to use the bell again, and the game kind of tries to reinforce that items only get used once. So it almost feels like cheating to use the bell a second time to find the duck demons. Puffer really wants those earrings to do something. And I think GFM still doesn't have the earring. But he is keeping that leaf equipped so he doesn't accidentally stumble into that poison gas room again. Yep, GFM still doesn't have the earring from the gate guard, which means he still isn't going to be able to make any progress here. He also needs to be careful. His magic points are getting pretty low. Normally magic points aren't an issue in this game, but you can drain them down, especially if you cast a lot of return spells. There's a Rota-tree nut in the town that you can grab and you can use to restore your magic points. Oh, there we go. GFM has one. So if GFM runs out of magic points, he can eat that Rota-tree nut to refill them. Puffer is at a loss. He doesn't know what to do with these earrings he found. Oh, no, he's doing the right thing. Oh, there we go. All right, GFM does the right thing. Gets a new piece of dialogue here. And this sounds like this is going to be some tangible progress here for GFM. He's going to feel pretty good about having figured that out. Some good old tangible progress here for GFM. With these earrings, he will be able to finally do something at the other end of Burnland. I think that he'll probably make a beeline directly to there now that he's got a new item that he did not have before. So this is unfortunate for Puffer King. This means that GFM is now a little bit further ahead. Puffer King still needs to find the Rota leaf. When he gets his hands on that leaf, he'll be able to make it across the toxic room, and he will finally figure out what these earrings are for. Oh, here we go. He's pulled out this bell. Maybe he's figured it out. He's also right on the cusp of gaining another level. He's going to be really pleased when he sees what happens when he gains a level. Oh no, he skipped those monsters. Oh, it looks like both players got a hint here. Puffer King finds the duck demons and immediately tries to murder them. Puffer getting lots of hints for things he already knows. Here we go. This is what he needs to know. A leaf on the lava bank. Puffer's taking a moment to write that down in his notebook, like all good game players do. All good game players, of course, they write down all of their information in a notepad so that they will know what clues that they have found and what they do. Puffer King soft-locked. Well, that's unfortunate, but I don't think he'll lose a whole lot of progress by resetting. He has been saving pretty regularly. At a certain point, you give up and you just have to reset. Yep, there we go. He's resetting. So it sounds like if folks upgrade to the most recent version of BizHawk, that will resolve their issues with the sound. Of course, I think a lot of players are probably using an older version of BizHawk that they got with the mystery kit, so that might just be the solution. Get the new version of BizHawk. Did his controller die? Huh, maybe. I wonder what kind of a controller he's using. Maybe his batteries are dead. Yeah, if he's struggling here, it sounds like maybe his controller has died. That's unfortunate. That happens sometimes. Yes, you've missed quite a bit of Ys. There are VODs of the previous two segments if you want to watch segments 1 and 2 of Ys 1. And we do have 2 more segments of Ys coming up. Steam crashed. Somehow Steam crashing has destroyed Puffer King. So for folks just joining us, we're playing through Ys 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx CD. Compilation of the first 2 games. Ooh, this is the backup RAM. You don't want to play with the backup RAM. Alright, that could have been scary, because that's how you delete all your save files. That would have definitely put Pufferfish in a bad position to finish today's goal. So at any rate, we are playing through all of Ys 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx CD. This is a compilation of the first 2 games with lovely CD quality music. And this is a very lovely version. Oh man, Puffer has not saved in a really long time, or he's loaded the wrong save file. Whatever it is, he's lost a tremendous amount of experience points here. We are playing through this as a blind segmented race. We're playing the full game. We played part 1 and 2 in the previous 2 weeks, and we will be playing 4 and 5 in the next 2 weeks. We plan to be finishing all of this up by the end of May. Part 5 will probably be a little bit short, so we're going to do a little bit of a bonus game that week as well. We'll finish up Ys 2 on, let's see, it's going to be it should be about the 23rd. On the 23rd, we'll also do a short double feature, and we'll be playing Worm for the NES a fun short game. It's too short to be a segmented race, but it's the perfect little companion to fit in alongside a shorter segment. So hopefully you folks will join us for that. That'll be a short and easy game to play through. And when we'll take a break, and then I think in the month of June we may come back. We might be playing some N64 games, either playing some Goemon 64, or we'll play some Rocket Robot on Wheels. We'll see what players are more excited for. So we'll have some N64 action coming to you in June. So right now, Pufferfish King and GFM are on the last segment of this race. The goal for today is to defeat the boss of the Lava Zone, starting from the beginning of East 2, making their way through 3 goals: the Divine area, the Ice area, and now the Fire area. This is one of the reasons why it was obvious that East 1 would have to be expanded into a complete title, because it did not have a lava area, and it is mandatory to have a fire zone in every RPG. So kudos for Falcom for realizing that shortcoming and addressing it through this wonderful compilation. There it is. GFM has found the boss door. I think he probably needs to gain another level before he's going to defeat this boss, though. Unfortunately, he's a little bit weak. Puffer King is just on the cusp of getting that level up, and that will put him in a good spot. So there's still a good chance that Puffer King may be able to take the victory here. He's got a couple of cutscenes to deal with before he can fight the boss. In the meantime, GFM making the obvious choice here. As soon as he sees this boss floating around, vomits a giant string of living puke. He decides not to touch it, because touching it does as poorly as you would expect a giant string of living puke would do. And yep, this is what happens when you don't have any iframes. Everything kills you instantaneously. This is where you have to learn all about maintaining your personal space. You've got to keep those giant vomit snakes out of your personal space, or else you'll just die. There it is. GFM gets a hit, and it's a tiny, unrecognizable sliver of health here, but at least he does figure out he can chain a bunch of fireballs at once to deal some pretty appreciable damage here. Except not that much, because he's doing pretty small amounts of damage. I think maybe GFM is picking up that he wants to level up a bit. So suddenly things are very different for Pufferfish King. He shoots out a fireball, and he discovers his fireballs now pierce. So this is a major game changer. This dramatically improves the strength of your fireballs on basic enemies, because now you just shoot out your fireball and it hits the enemy a bunch of times. Just look at that. Puffer King is marveling at the incredible magical power that he just wields at his fingertips. And then we see the one fire guy who just deflects your fireballs. And he also doesn't fight back. Yeah, some video games they make you, gain a bunch of magic spells and you learn new ones. You get your fire spell and you usually get a thunderbolt spell, and they probably give you like an ice bolt spell. And you gamely pretend that an ice bolt is a real thing and not just some ridiculous thing that they made up. But no, not Ease. Ease is just like, here's your fireball spell. That's it. It's the best spell. Just use it all the time. Although it does remind me of a time I used to play Dungeons and Dragons with a group regularly. And once we played through the 3rd edition version of the Tomb of Horrors that they updated for the Necronomicon book that they had recently released. And one of the players was a min-maxer who made a wizard, and they did everything in their power to make the most broken character they possibly could. That they picked a bunch of utility spells that had that they could exploit for all sorts of scenarios. And then at one point, the players got attacked by a giant cloud of zombie mosquitoes. And everybody turned to the wizard and they said, "Oh wow, this is the perfect opportunity for a fireball. It's like this monster was made for fireballs." And the wizard calmly explained that they just didn't have a fireball spell because they were a min-maxer.
I truly hope that you can save me, but I'm afraid this rock is very solid and will be most difficult to break.
Yeah, for the rest of that session, at every single opportunity, the thief made a point of pointing out that the wizard didn't have a fireball scroll. The single most common wizard spell was completely unavailable. So now we deal with this child who has the least childlike dialogue ever. No child is this eloquent unless they're about to burst into a demon. So Adol should be extremely cautious around this kid. All right, so Puffer King has solved the riddle here. He has rescued the child. Wonder if Puffer King has realized that you can use the return spell to warp to the burn town. I think a couple of the players didn't realize that the return spell gains new locations as you progress. Yeah, this fight here is looking pretty rough for GFM. He's been on his last legs for a while here, and he's not dealing much damage to this boss. But we'll see. Maybe he'll clutch it out. We've seen crazier things happen in these races. He's got some interesting diagonal movement going on here. He's got the boss almost halfway down. GFM doing a good job setting up these scenarios where he can just run right underneath the boss and deal a big chunk of damage to it. But there it is. He gets touched by the noodly appendage of the Pastafarian god here, and unfortunately is going to have to try this again. Buffer's taking his time. He's killing all of these enemies here. If he gains yet another level, I think he'll find this boss to be pretty trivial. I think he's pretty close to gaining that level. Puffer slowly making his way back to town. He's killing everything he sees. There's yet another level now. He should be dealing some pretty good damage against the boss now. He's got the best equipment that he can have at this point. Oh, he's going to warp back to the village. I think that may have been his plan. He knew he could warp all along, and he just took his time because he wanted to grind for experience. Excuse me. He's going to grind the monsters in the basement. I think he's going to find that these are really not worth his time at this point. Yeah, he's realizing they're only worth 1 experience point each. Not worth his time. But I greatly appreciate the thought there. And that may work in his favor, remembering that spot. He's going to stop by Bernice's house. It is Mother's Day, so taking his time to visit Lillian's mother, like the good boy that he is. Yeah, it's not the fastest when you're at lower levels. It's fast when you first get here, and it's fast when you're at max level and everything is only worth 1 experience point. But in between, it's not a great spot. Oh, it's definitely a good moneymaker. What's Puffer going to spend money on? Yeah, I'm starting to question this. Puffer's experience is in an extremely good spot right now. He doesn't need to be doing this. He would be better off progressing in the game and finding an area with monsters that are worth 100 experience. Meanwhile, we see GFM is grinding the monsters just outside of the boss room. Needs to be careful with these save files. If you save where a monster spawns, you could get a save file that loads with you dying instantly. So it's really important to be careful saving when your health is low, or where you're around really powerful monsters. Yeah, Puffer's only gained 200 experience points. Had he killed half a dozen monsters in the fire zone, he would have gained that level. But he's getting plenty of gold, at least. Alright, looks like GFM is just about to gain a level. Just gotta be careful. There it is. GFM gains a level and he notices, oh, suddenly his fireballs are very different. Puffer's just going to chill out here for a while. Meanwhile, GFM, I think, is going to find the boss is a lot easier to damage now that he has gained a level. Yeah, look at that. That's he's dealing a lot more damage now. There we go. GFM dealing big chunks of damage here. So this is looking pretty good. I think we're going to see it clear from GFM very shortly. Yeah, look at that. GFM already halfway through the boss in the time it took him before to get 1/10 of the way through the boss. Puffer's grinding something. I'm not sure what Puffer's going for, unless his plan is to buy one of those life drops for 60,000 coins, which is kind of a waste at this point. Oh, GFM was getting a little too tricksy there. It takes a death. Puffer, there are so many better grind places. Just kill the boss, Puffer. You're strong enough. I believe in you, Puffer. I believe in you. I believe you have the strength. Oh, GFM takes a hit by the noodle there. He loses so much damage. He just gives up that attempt. That attempt's aborted. I think Puffer just likes the feeling of slashing through a bunch of monsters. Of course, every time you die to the boss, each of these bosses has a little finishing up animation, like the giant head has to eat his little barf snake. I like the centipede in East 1, that whenever you die, it goes back onto the wall and turns back into a statue, resetting itself for the next foolish adventurer to try to fight it. Well, the good news is Puffer is going to be plenty strong enough when he gets through this. One more level will be more than enough to destroy this boss effortlessly. Oop, GFM got a little bit too close there. You don't want to get cozy with the giant barf face. It deals a lot of damage. All right, GFM taking some damage there, but he's getting a really good cycle. If you can get the barf snake really far away from the face, you can get a really long damage cycle there. I mean, that's a lot of damage GFM is pumping out in a very short period of time. All right, I think GFM might be getting bored. Oh no, that was it. He was grinding the 60,000 gold pieces. He wants to buy a life drop. There was a method to his madness. Oh, GFM takes the death with one hit to go. Which means GFM has to do it again. So that was it. Puffer King really wanted that that resurrection drop. That if he has that equipped and he takes a death, he will automatically revive. I don't think that respawns if you use it. I think that's it. It's just there's one of those. It's also, just spoiler, it's worthless against the final boss, so it's no point in hanging onto it. through the whole game. GFM taking a lot of damage there, but he sets up a really good cycle. Oh, that's so much damage. GFM needs to hurry. Puffer King is approaching. If Puffer King gets to this boss, he's going to nuke it in one try. Although I think he's good. GFM's just got one more cycle here, and he should be able to finish off this boss. He just needs to be really careful not to get... not to let literally that happen. Looks like Puffer's going to grind out this last level. He really wants to annihilate this boss when he gets to it. It's a good cycle. GFM cleaves the whole third of the boss's health off in a single hit. Ooh, GFM gets a little greedy there. He gets in close. Ow, he got in close. He took a hit, and then the snake took him down. It's like Puffer's found his preferred grind spot. The enemies just come to him. So while Puffer is going to definitely... While Puffer is looking like he's going to struggle a bit with defeating this boss before GFM, he is going to be at an advantage in the next goal. By and far, he's going to be the highest level of the players. So this will save him a little bit of time in the next goal that he won't need to grind. Yeah, Puffer may also be a little bit cautious here about how powerful this boss is. He might be drastically underestimating his strength. But he is very close. He's just a few enemies away from gaining a level. There it is. He's leveled up yet again. Is he going to gain yet another level, or is he going to finish it? And there is the clear from GFM. GFM has defeated the Barfy Face boss. He's going to save his game. There is the dot done. He's finished in third place with an SRL time of 3 hours, 50 minutes, 59 seconds. Well done by GFM. And so we just have Puffer King left. Puffer King standing just outside the door of the boss here. Is he going to give the boss a chance? He's going to save his game. Well done. Puffer running really light on the save files. Not nearly as many save files as the other players have been using. So the good news is Puffer's figured out what to do, and he's doing big chunks of damage here. He's just got to execute it. All right, I think he's feeling confident this time. He knows what he has to do now. It's a good old-fashioned wait for the boss to reveal his weak point and then hit him. That most basic of gamer instincts. shoot it into the weak point. Puffer figures out that standing directly on top of the boss is not an effective way to fight him. A little bit of trial and error here as Puffer works out the proper strategies. Alright, Puffer dodging the enemy. Oh, there we go. That was a good spot. He's got another big chunk of damage. He's right about ready to finish this boss. He just needs one more cycle. He just has to be patient. This boss can kill you instantly if you are incautious. Oh, that wasn't a very good cycle, but the boss is almost dead. There it is. There is the final killing blow. Puffer defeats the boss, finishes today's goal, just needs to save his game and hit that dot done, and he will be in it. That's another level up for Puffer. You're supposed to save your game, Puffer. Puffer is trying to cheat and get a little bit of a lead on the others. That's not the way we play it here, Puffer. You don't go into the next room. You save your game. So that is it for today's broadcast of Ys 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx 16 CD. We will be back next Sunday with the next segment. So it'll be Sunday, May 16th. We'll be playing the next segment of the game. We'll explore Solomon Temple, which if you've been in the chat for a while, you know it's a little bit of a notorious dungeon. The game is going to be a total of 5 segments. So we're on segment number 3. We've got 2 more segments to go, and we will wrap things up. There's other exciting stuff going on the Mystery Funhouse channel. Be sure to join us next Saturday. That'll be May 15th. We've got at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Weekly Blind. We're going to be playing The Fifth Element for the PlayStation, based off of the movie of the same name. One of Jaw's favorite games. So it has a bit of a mystery pedigree to it. Make sure you join us, and we will be playing through a portion of that game for an exciting race. We also have coming up next week on the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific. We've got we're going to be doing the Mystery game, which is a game selected by Internet Dirigible each week, and everybody races for their goes for their favorite or goes for a high score. So we are going to we'll find out what game that is, and everybody can compete for a high score at the game. Let's go ahead and let's raid somebody. We're going to raid something a little bit different today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to raid a streamer named Lumpy Touch that I'm a fan of. He's a very different sort of an individual. He does video game themed art. Right now he's doing spooky Game Boy game art. He's making some art for a spooky Game Boy game. You may recognize him from some videos you may have seen on the internet that are like survival horror Garfield animations. So he does a lot of that, and it's a nice chill stream where you can listen to music, watch him make some art, and talk with him about whatever floats your boat. Hopefully you folks will join us here again on Mystery Funhouse next week when we do our weekly blind, Mystery event, and we do East Part 3. And definitely join us for the upcoming Steam tournament, in which players are going to race games that are in their Steam backlogs. And if you're interested in that tournament, join our Discord. You can see that at !Discord. You can join our Discord. You can find out more information, sign up, and play through some games in your Steam backlog while winning races. So we'll catch you folks next week here again on Mystery Funhouse. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And we'll join you again for more mystery games. Have a good night, and we'll see you again here on Mystery Funhouse.